We have been dying to get our hands on a FOC Box Unity ever since they were released by Inertian several years ago, and when they went out of business earlier this year, we figured that we would never be able to get our hands on one for review. But finally, we were able to get some on clearance from the Raptor clearance shop, and will now be selling them directly from the United States to all of you guys on our online store Propulsion boards. So in today's video, we are going to be reviewing the Inertian FOC Box Unity to see if it's any good and lives up to the hype that surrounded it in the past. So you'll open up the box and you'll see that it comes with the ESC itself, the USB-C cable used to program it, a power switch which plugs into the ESC, eliminating the need for another one between your battery and ESC, a servo connector for the ESC to plug into the receiver, and some extra 3.5mm bullet connectors. One of the most hyped up attributes about the FOC Box Unity was how fast it was to set up with the mobile app, and you can see that it's the first thing that comes up with the packaging along with the schematic on the back. So when you first open up the Unity itself, you'll notice that it has this really nice bright orange rubber looking cover around it. And I think that this is actually one of the nicer features about the Unity because it makes it nice and soft to the touch, and you know that you aren't damaging the electronics because everything is sealed off. It comes with an XT60 connector for the battery and 3mm bullet connectors to the motor phase wires. Covered up by these little rubber plugs, another nice feature, are all of the ports to use on the VESC. There's two more at the bottom that are used for the motor sensor wires, and the ones at the top are for the power switch and the receiver, as well as the UART port. If you're able to remove the casing, you'll find that there's a Bluetooth module built into the Inertian FOC Box, which is very useful to connecting to their very own app on Android to program it. Instead of a male-to-male servo connector, the Unity comes with this 3-pin JST to male servo connector wire to plug into your receiver. It's just a little bit different, but it works just as well as a standard male-to-male servo to connect to your custom receiver if you're going with a PPM remote. Another thing that we really love about the FOC Box Unity is the fact that it comes with its own LED momentary push-button power switch. This eliminates the need for your own power switch that connects between the battery and the ESC. Simply use the 5-pin connector, plug it into the 5-pin JST on the VESC, and you have a working power switch that controls your ESC and your board. Another thing that we really love about the Unity is the auxiliary port that feeds directly into the battery voltage so that you can plug in your own percentage indicator to the ESC. To set up the Unity, first plug it into the battery using the XT60 connector. Then you can power on the Unity easily using the push button switch. You'll be able to turn it off by simply holding the switch for 1.5 seconds as the default. The power switch easily mounts to any enclosure by threading through any hole you make with the drill, and then using the threaded nut on the other side to keep it in place. For the purpose of this video, we will be showing you guys how to set up the FOC Box Unity for UART control with a VX1 or a VX2. So first plug in the VX1 receiver into the UART port on the FOC Box. One of the things that we dislike about the Unity is the fact that it comes with these small 3mm bullet connectors, which are far too small for our powerful 6374 motors, or most of the motors we use, so we always unsolder those connectors using a soldering iron and then solder on our own 4mm bullet connectors that can handle a lot more current and are just a lot nicer and hold together better. For the programming, we were really excited to use the app, but we soon found out that it was only available on Android, and as iPhone users, that was extremely disappointing because that meant we had to go the old-fashioned way with a standard laptop. Only thing was, we soon found out that there was no stable Mac version of the Unity tool, so we had to fetch out our old PC to program it. The Unity has its own tool for programming, which I honestly think is much better than the actual VESC tool. So when you first plug it in, it'll say that the firmware is too old, which is no worry because you can just go to the firmware tab and upload it very easily by just selecting all of the defaults and then selecting upload. That process will take a minute or so and the VESC will turn off, and then once it powers back on, you will be able to connect it by using the Connect USB button, and your VESC will be connected for programming. First, click the Guided Setup button, which will walk you through the entire thing. Set your cell number, which in our case is 12, and press OK. Then set your max battery discharge current, which in our case was 45 because we have a 3P battery with each cell being able to do 15 amps, and then our maximum regen current we set to 30 because that's the default on the Unity. Next we did the motor detection, which all you have to do is click the Start Test button, and the motors will do some beeping and some spinning, and then you can come back and it'll tell you to spin the motors in the direction that you want the motors to spin. So you just grab them, spin them in that direction, and then you should be good to go with the motor detection. The next thing is to set your max motor current, which we set to 80 amps because we know that our Raptor hubs can handle 80 amps each. The higher you go, the more powerful your motors will be. Next, we set our maximum brake current, which is the same thing. The stronger and higher you go, the stronger your brakes will be. Once you've done all this, make sure you hit Apply Updated Config to apply the configuration to your VESC. Next, you can move on to the input or the remote configuration. We set this to Disabled PPM mode because we are using the UART port. We then clicked Cancelled and just made sure that the UART mode was set to the 11.5-200 baud. There's a bunch of other very cool settings that you can play along with in the VESC tool for the Unity, such as the kick push to start feature. You can turn that on and off. You can change how long you have to push the button to shut off the board, and there's a couple other things that you can just play around with and experiment with on the Unity. You can also change how long until the board will auto shut off. So once you've done all of this, you can hit Apply Updated Config to make sure that everything you've sets into the VESC permanently. And at this point, your board is pretty much ready to run. You can just power on the remote and test it out by pushing the throttle. So while it was a pain that there was only a PC tool, the Unity VESC tool is so much easier to use than the regular one to us. The Unity app was one of the coolest things that came out with the Unity, but owning an iPhone, we didn't have the option to have that since it's only available on Google Play. So what we did was we connected the Unity to the Xmatic Skate app, which connects to a wide variety of Bluetooth modules. The Xmatic app works fine, although not as well as the Unity app, and still has a ton of awesome features, such as live tracking of what's going on in your board, and a map that shows you where you've ridden. So now on to what we actually think about the Unity performance. We're currently using it on our boosted clone, our 12S4P monster board, and also our Inertian Raptor hubs build. All of these boards are immensely powerful and feature very high quality motors and batteries. So from our use on these three boards, we found the Unity to be an extremely good ESC. We like it much better than the FlipSky Dual 6.6, and equally as much as the standard single FOC boxes used with a CAN bus connector. The Unity provides super smooth and powerful startup and is dead reliable. Never once have we ever had it break down on us or cut out while braking like many other cheap ESCs do. It's proven to be the most reliable ESC that we've had in any board aside from our regular FOC boxes and our 10S4P30Q build. We use it on a 12S4P30Q monster with dual 6374s, and it handles it extremely well. It's never broken down and takes us on 25-30 mile rides without having any issues at all, day in and day out. This is somewhat of a rarity among dual ESCs, as many of them break down quite frequently with DRV issues, especially on the 12S voltages. So it's really good to see that the Unity actually lived up to the hype, and the fact that it works very well on 12S and provides some of the most powerful and smooth acceleration. Now, for all the positives about the Unity's performance and how amazing we like it as an electric skateboard part, there are several issues that lie outside of the performance realm in the product, service, and management quality. So evidently, inertia no longer exists, making it increasingly difficult to get any sort of support if your Unity were to break. Of course, this is contingent on the fact that your Unity does break, which for us has not happened yet, and it's been going strong for almost 3 months now on our 12S4P board. However, while Inertia might not be able to help you with repairs, you can always contact a third-party repair service such as the DRV VESC Wizard to help you repair a FOC Box Unity, so you're not completely out of hope and left in the dark if you do have a broken Unity. So our final prognosis and conclusion on the FOC Box Unity is that it is an incredible ESC, and we really wish we had our hands on this thing sooner. It works well in all three of our overpowered skateboards and is a dead reliable ESC. So while it may not have the greatest customer support at the moment, the product itself is fantastic, and we 10 out of 10 recommend getting one. We actually liked the Unity so much that we went out of our way to find if there was a way that we could bring these back, and we ended up finding the Raptor clearance part stock thanks to one of our subscribers who told us that they were now selling Unities. So what we're going to be doing is buying a bunch of those, keeping them in stock in our US location so that we can ship them much faster than out of China. So you can go to our website, Propulsion Boards, and check out under the VESC section. We'll have some FOC Box Unities for sale for $299.99, which is the exact same price that they retailed for back in the day on Inertian's website. We currently have a limited stock of a couple or so buy them quickly while you can, and if they do seem to be popular and you guys do continue wanting them, Let us know in the comment section below, and we will continue to increase our inventory on that so that you guys can constantly have a steady supply of Unities. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video and made it this far, please consider liking the video and subscribing to our YouTube channel for more awesome electric skateboard content. Also, comment down below what you think of the FOC Box Unity as a VESC. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.